Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm here with the legend in the building, Paul Booth. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
My pleasure, Matt. You say in the building. I'm actually in my new villa and in my wine garden.
In
So
the virtual building.
yeah.
So Paul's in his wine garden, hanging out in Spain. Like, life couldn't be any better.
Well, it is. It's not exactly cold. It's. I just worked it out before I came on this call. That it's because you guys work in Fahrenheit. It's about 99 Fahrenheit where I am right now.
Oh, not too bad. A little hot.
Yeah, well, I'm shaded in my wine garden, so it's okay.
You don't have a glass of wine with you yet? Is it too early? Or
a car you just heard was the my partner Linda. She's just been to the shop to buy my wine, so I can have wine while we talk in my wine garden.
Awesome. Cool. Today we're going to talk about what we usually talk about: branding in the cannabis and CBD space, and that's all Paul does. People, if you're not familiar with Paul Booth, he's one of the top branding experts in the cannabis world, and all Paul does is chill by the beach and crank out brands all day long, as far as I know.
yeah. And I'd add to that, I actually changed nappies as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got a newborn. Yeah. So he's got the newborn baby, and he's cranking out brands, and it's a good life. And so here we go. I talk to CBD brands all day long. I do about 4 to 5 calls a day, usually talking to different brands. And 95% of them are getting the same things wrong over and over. And so I just wanted to go over a bunch of things, talking about what to do when launching a brand, or if you already have an existing brand in the CBD space. And so, like, one of the things when somebody's starting out, like, what's the most powerful thing a new CBD business owner can do at the start when they're launching their brand?
Well, there's 3 things I would start. The first one is don't launch a CBD brand. Now, that's going to sound really alien to most people on here, but don't launch a CBD brand. Me and you, Matt, were talking about this before the call. Is that Delta? Can't think of the name.
Oh, Delta 8.
Delta 8 just come out. And if you launch a CBD brand and your business and your brand is all about CBD, and you've got CBD in your URL and CBD in your business name, you're going to struggle to then push other products. Remember, CBD is just an ingredient. So you want to launch a brand that is going to serve people of a certain audience or certain niche. Pets, for example, self-care, beauty. They're super hot right now. But if you go in there and just try and target with CBD products, you're going to limit your product range. You can limit in your marketing. You can limit everything. Going to different parallels. You just limit yourself straight away. So that's the first thing I would say to everybody. Don't launch a CBD brand. Launch a brand aimed at people, but will sell CBD products and other products. If you go into the pet world, you want to be able to like pet healthcare. You want to be able to sell CBD products and like glucosamine products, because that's all good. Them sort of products are powerful and sell super hot for in the pet niche. So you don't want to limit yourself by launching a CBD brand. You want to launch a brand.
And a good example of that too is friends of ours, Primal Life Organics. They launched toothpaste, and it was like tooth powder, natural, all organic tooth powders, and deodorants that were natural and organic. And they did CBD and regular, and they were able to get into Walmart with their regular deodorant and toothpaste, and they did 10 million in sales. So, without that, they wouldn't have had that opportunity.
Well, just from a pure marketing position, if you're selling a regular product, let's just say coffee, you're selling a regular coffee, and you really want to push your CBD coffee. There's people will argue you can use it or not use it, but however, you can sell your regular coffee. You get thousands of people buying your coffee. They go into your email system and you upsell them CBD. Then you have to do the only marketing you do for your CBD product is the email list you've already got. So you ain't got to worry about Google organic search. You ain't got to worry about Facebook ads. You ain't got to worry about Twitter ads or LinkedIn ads or all this other stuff. All you got to do is use your list. So that's so the first thing would be to not launch a CBD brand. The second one is massively important, is to find out what people are searching for. So just because, again, even though your mindset is going to be launch a CBD brand, and let's say, what are people searching on Google for the market you're targeting? So I'll give you keywords everywhere is a tool you can download. Everyone go and download keywords everywhere. That's a little trick, a little secret from me to you. Most of you won't know about it. Keywords everywhere will tell you pretty much all the volume of all the searches on Google. So if you go and search CBD in Wisconsin, it'll tell you how many times a month that keyword is searched. Now, if you're going after the pet niche, you want to find out, what's the higher volume keywords you can go after from a content strategy. So when you launch, you know what the customers are asking. because search engines are people searching for information or searching for products to buy. So therefore, if they're searching for it, it's what they're thinking in their head. So when
Their
you write
intention
content,
is strong. Yeah.
Absolutely. So therefore, you can write content and you can build your marketing around what people are searching. Now, yeah, you're going to go on, download keywords everywhere. You're going to put in CBD oil and find out the volume's ridiculously high. Look, you haven't got $1 million and you're not going to rank on page one for CBD oil. So look at the lower level, sort of like, 2,000 to 3,000 or 4,000 searches a month, and start, find out what the keywords are people are searching for, the niche you're going into. And once you know that, there you suddenly have a great marketing campaign. You suddenly start getting attention on your brand because you're talking direct to what people are thinking and what people are searching. If you're trying to guess it based on your own experiences, it's never going to work. So data is super important. That's number 2 for what you should do if you launch a brand. First one is don't launch a CBD brand. Number 2 is find out what people are looking for. And then the third one goes back into what I always say: audience is the most important thing you're ever going to need to understand. Your audience, then your message, and then you position products that suit that audience and message. And suddenly you'll realize, oh, making sales is quite easy when I put something in front of someone they actually want.
I was going to say, Paul, you make it sound so easy.
Well, it's not. It's just the problem is that people think you can slap a label on something. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to people in here, but you think you can slap a label on something, right? Create an okay website that people think, and then just send traffic to it, and people are going to buy. It doesn't work like that. If anyone who starts a business or brand actually thinks how they buy, if they saw an average product and touched an average website, you are never going to effing buy from that brand, because it's not what you wouldn't do it. So why would you expect someone else to do it? So it's super important. The base level of it is, what do people want? Make what sells. Don't try and sell what you make.
Yeah, get inside the head of your consumer that you're targeting. And my partner Aaron Nosbish did an amazing job of that with the company Monk that he launched a few years back, and they did 22 million in sales in 3 years. And he told me the other day, we were talking about it, he was like, I didn't sleep for 3 years. I got inside my customer's head. I made it my mission, my passion, my everything was to get inside my customer's head and give them exactly what they wanted. And that's what he did. And they did an amazing job at that. And so you have to be really passionate about it and focused and locked into exactly what your customer wants, not what you want, and even though hopefully that's in alignment, that's when it really works. Like if you can create something that you want to use and the customer wants, I think that's when you really have a home run, because you have all the passion behind it.
Yeah, I think I said before, when I had my Men's Health award-winning supplement brand, the best email I ever sent was, protein shakes are shit. Right, and I'm selling protein shakes. I'm trying to sell them. But what I did is I called them out I called everyone out, my audience, in the email, saying to them, look, if you don't get out of bed in the morning, you don't go to the gym and try and work out, don't drink my protein. You're wasting money. You're pissing it down the toilet. So, but I was the person I was targeting. Luckily for that position at the time, I was targeting me, and me was a lot of people in a similar position. We're not bodybuilders, we're not steroid users, we're just guys that want to look a little bit hotter, so we can get more chicks, right? And that sounds quite shallow, but that's basically why most people train, most guys. So I was getting in the head by just talking to them how I felt that day. If I felt shit on a Saturday morning, I'd send an email out. So yeah, understand your audience is just massively powerful. It's the be all and end all of everything. Nike do it. All the top brands in the world focus on audience first. The rest of it comes from that. If you understand the audience, you know how to talk to them. You know how to piss them off. You know how to how to get them excited. You know how to dig at them so they respond to something, make a reaction. Nike, for example, are phenomenal at pissing half the world off. Yeah. They know about pissing half the world off. They engage the other half of the world that really love what they do and respect the fact they stand there and they abide by their morals.
You want to be a polarizing brand. You don't want everybody to love you. It's not good that way. If I have a brand, I want half the people to not care about me. You know what I mean? Or even hate me.
Ben and Jerry's has supported defunding the police, right? And everyone's going, well, they're doing that for an ice cream brand. But if you go back to their core story, who Ben and Jerry's are, they're two hippies. Yeah. So they've always been that way. So even though I may disagree or agree with it, it doesn't matter, because they're just sticking with what their brand ethos is. Therefore, they will engage people. They will piss people off. No different to you guys in the US, where you've got your Republicans and Democrats. You know what I mean? Some people hate Trump. Some people love him, but he's a brand in himself, right? So you've got to get people talking about you, whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah,
You know,
Trump
if
does a
you
great job at that for sure. He's
yeah,
the most polarizing person I've ever seen.
yeah, if you're bland or a blandosaurus, or you put your brand through a blander, you're never going to get seen. It's just that, if you get someone excited on social media about your brand, let's say it's someone talking about your brand, and someone's like pumped, like, I want to go check this brand out, and they go to your website, and it's absolute horseshit, you're never going to convert. Your
That's
site
what I was
has to.
going to ask you. Sorry to interrupt, Paul. I was going to ask you, like you mentioned websites, like, do you think most CBD sellers are falling short with their websites? Because I do. I go on these.
I'm direct about it. I would say 95% of CBD brands, which they shouldn't be CBD brands, sites are absolute dog shit. And the reason being is this: you land on it, it's got some generic picture with some generic CBD writing, with some generic CBD logo, and then it's straight into products. And and then they're about us, or the information next is talking about how great their CBD oils and where it's come from, organic farm. And it's like boring. So it's like, but it's because people think you think you just plug and play a generic site, right? Which you can't. You need to have it. So if you understand your audience, you know who you're targeting, you'll be able to build a site. So when they land on it, it carries on the message you're talking from social media or from Google, right? So like, let's say I'm targeting men, for men who like skincare, who are a bit like I would call pompous, who care about the things. So like the 45-year-old guy who's got a bit of cash, entrepreneur, drives a fast car, doesn't want to admit that he already uses Boss aftershave, so he's like a man after day. So you wouldn't want to just push a CBD product to him, and if you got his attention, drive him to the site, and it'd be dull as shit. You've got to attract his eyes to what he's used to. So he's used to fast cars, hot women, dark colors, gray colors. You have to put that on the site, but also the words you use have to make them want to scroll down to the next part of the website. And then when you scroll down, get them to buy a product. It's a little bit technical to talk about on a live how the website should be structured, but it should always be structured to your audience. There is no set way of structuring a website. It's what do your audience expect and what do your audience need. And here's another little trick: if you know your audience, just go and look at all the sites they already look at in different niches, in apparel, in fitness, in magazines, and celebrities. And once you see that, you'll start to see similarities and go, okay, my site needs to feel and look like this because people are used to seeing this.
That's good advice. And also what I personally think, and Aaron and my partner Aaron, and I think you too, like when you're launching a brand online, I think less is more with the amount of SKUs. Like, so 1 to 3 SKUs usually is what I recommend to start out with. And then once you build your audience, then you can bring in more SKUs and roll out 20 SKUs if you want, if you have a following behind you. And that way, if you have 1 to 3 SKUs, there's less money that you're going to have to put out in inventory and tracking the inventory and dealing with all these SKUs. It becomes a nightmare once you start getting sales coming in. If you have 15, 20 SKUs, it's a nightmare. And so,
so more importantly for that, when you've only got one product, you've got one clear marketing message. And it makes it very clear. So let's say, for example, like Players Fuel, my brand I created, I would have one CBD product, right? And that product would be to, 3 main things that golfers want. It's distance, accuracy, and consistency, right? And that's all they want, golfers. And every single thing they buy, drivers, putters, they buy all this stuff. They get lessons, they watch videos, they do everything, and it's all to get them 3 things. So that brand is one product aimed at solving them 3 problems and nothing else. And this is naturally how you would do it. You would sell that product, they'll buy that product, they'll buy it monthly. Then once they're buying that monthly, you go, haha, now I've got them. They're doing the droppers. Now I can get them a topical. So they can put it to the elbows and knees where the pain is. But if you try and come in with 2 products straight away and it's new to the golf world, they're going to go, oh, which one do I use? And once they go, which one do I use?
Forget it. Then they're just
it's too confusing. I just want to hit it further. So ultimately, I would say one SKU always. Depends again which audience you're going after. Because like you said, if you could have a non-CBD and a CBD SKU, right? So that's a good way of doing it.
Or even like if you're doing a self-care brand, maybe you do a kit with 3 SKUs in a box or something like that. Like
self-care is perfect, day or night, AM, PM.
Or check out people that are watching now. Check out smiletwice.com. That's one of my favorite brands. Do you know that brand, Paul? The toothpaste. It's so cool. They got the morning toothpaste and the night toothpaste, and their website is beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful site, and so like that's a great concept to look at, that company, and they're crushing it. So
It's simple, right? Day and night, or how they done AM, PM. What they've done is just day and night. So I take that one the AM, that one the PM. That's all I need.
Yeah, it's super simple.
They'll bring another product out, right? They'll bring on the go product, or they'll bring out. But it doesn't matter. The whole point of when you build a brand is you need to build an audience, and once you've got an audience that love what you do, you can virtually sell them anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Elon Musk was selling flamethrowers because you've got an audience, right? So
exactly, so that's like a side project that he probably just did for fun, But yeah, and lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so it's interesting though, like how Delta 8 THC has come out of nowhere. When something new comes out, I'm seeing people right now are making a lot of money with just generic Delta 8 brands because it doesn't matter as much when it's new. Just like when CBD first came out, you could throw up a general CBD brand and make a lot of money, but that isn't working. It doesn't work anymore. And that'll happen with Delta 8 too, if they allow it to be legal. So the people that are just jumping in and, making money, it's not going to last long because they don't have a real brand. It's just like a quick flow of money, and then that's it.
Same as the hand sanitizers, right? People are making a ton of cash on hand sanitizers now, and that's going to dry up in like 6 months' time. And they're like, shit, what do I do next?
They got a warehouse full of ethanol.
Yeah, but so again, you've got all these customers, you've got these emails, but the customers just like, let's go hand sanitizer right for starters. They've come through the hand sanitizers. Now, what do you do that list afterwards? Well, unless you bring out more healthcare products, but there's not really a brand there to sort of like they're buying the product, not the brand. Yeah. So even though in the Delta they'll be buying, Delta TC, they'll be buying the product, still build a brand around it, target a specific audience, because when that part dries up and a new product comes out, you can start selling more products. It's that concept is get rich quick now because it's hot, but like I said, it dies off.
Yeah, and so if you do create a brand around it that's strong, that fits an audience like Delta 8 THC, to me, it's a younger audience that's buying it. They want to get high. The young kids want to get high. Yeah. Even though I'm 45, I like getting high too, but mostly it's young kids, 25, probably 20 to 30, and so knowing that if I was selling Delta 8, I would create a brand, pitching to a younger crowd and making it cool, hip,
And the reason behind that is if you're just selling the product and you're not selling a brand, you'll get into if you're just selling a product, you'll get into a price war.
Yeah, exactly.
People are buying your product they'll be buying it based on price. But if you're a brand, they buy it based on the cool factor of the brand. So therefore, your price can stay or even go up. When everyone else is dropping down, going, mine's better, and the arse drops out the market, the brand that's got the business is a brand, the prices stay the same because people are buying the product. They're not looking for a cheaper option. They're looking for that brand because it's the one they use. Beauty does it all the time. The moisturizer in your $5 CVS moisturizer that's the same as a $75 moisturizer, in a posh shop. It's no different.
Look at Viagra. Like when Viagra came out, they had the patent to that ingredient, the active ingredient or whatever, but the patent wore out. And now there's all these other brands, and it's like 3 cents a kilo or something now, or $3 a kilo. But Viagra still charges $50 or whatever. I don't use that, so I don't know what they charge. But I was talking to somebody yesterday about that, how other companies are selling it way cheaper, but people will still buy the more expensive Viagra, and because of that brand name. So yeah, it's just about establishing your brand, and along with that, like recently I've been more and more thinking, I think it's better if you're a media company that happens to sell cannabis products or whatever products that fit that mold. Like if you can create content, just constantly cranking out badass content that's relevant to your audience, I think that's the approach. Like, in my opinion, like just being a media company that happens to sell products.
Yeah, it's like Nike as a marketing agency that happens to sell sports gear. It's it wasn't at the start, but it is now. No, absolutely. So you look at the trend now. There was someone said that Kanye was going. Well, Kanye said he was going for 2020, but when you just hear that, whether he's going for 2020 or he's going for 2024 or whatever, he's a rapper, celebrity, content creator, always online. So content is king. Is Google before, which it still is. 87,000 searches a second on Google says Google is content is king on Google. But we consume so much video nowadays; it's unreal. So, like you said, if you just do the videos and not affiliates so much, the influencers, but not influencer like someone who's got 2 million followers on Instagram, someone who's got an audience of 1,000 or even 100 people that is super influential to. They're perfect to talk about your brand, and you need that video content all the time. That's why ClickFunnels is no one ever going to ClickFunnels if you're in the CBD space because it's crap. But ClickFunnels, he's been great at getting people to talk about his brand all the time. All these affiliates that are pushing you one click away or whatever the next book thing is, BookFunnel. But he's great at getting people creating content about his brand, and he just sits back and makes loads of money.
How do you do that? Like, how do you make other people get on board with your brand and talk about it?
Incentivize.
Yeah.
Well, first off, have a really cool brand. Have a really cool solution, right? It has to be cool. Just because you've got a CBD product, right? And you've got, I keep saying CBD brand. I don't like saying that, but because you think you've got a cool brand and you sell a cool CBD product, just because you reach out to loads of people who want to push their products, if your brand looks shit, no one's going to want to push it. Therefore, you're not going to get. So target it to a specific audience, make it look cool as fuck. Yeah. Then people go, oh, okay, well, I can make $15 every time I sell one of your products. Okay, cool. I'm sweet. It looks cool. Doesn't make me look like a fucking idiot when I try and sell it. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like why Herbalife works that way. Because Herbalife, as much as I hate Herbalife sellers, because they are just like the bottom feeders of the world, right? Their products do look quite cool. Right.
Yeah, so the branding is pretty cool.
And they use Ronaldo, and they use they use Real Madrid as the sponsor as well. So they've got this cool factor. So people think it's cool to sell, and then become part of this cult, if you want to call it a cult. But ultimately, your brand has to look super sexy. And then you go to people, how do you want to sell my product? You get $15 every time you sell a product. Dude, I'm in. I'll push it for you. Then you've got someone who's got 1,000 fans pushing to their audience. Then they find out about this affiliate commission. So if you're starting out new, get affiliates on board. But I say that you've got to do it if your brand looks cool. And if you suddenly reach out to people and they go, I'll try your product and I'll push it for you, and they blank you after you sent the product, what they're telling you is, it's dog shit. I don't want to push it to my audience. That's what they're saying. If it was cool, they would push it all day long. Do you know what I mean? No difference like how the human brain works. Remember all these there's a push-up challenge right now for mental health. 25 days of push-ups people are doing. There was that ALS one where they bucket water over your head.
Oh
people love doing the sheep thing where they do the same as everyone else, and that's no different to selling products. If you've got a cool brand that does cool shit, people are going to want to sell that brand or be associated with that brand because it then gives them a different status.
That makes sense.
Why do fitness guys always want to be sponsored by a protein brand? Because it makes them look cool.
Yeah.
And they get free protein.
Yeah, just like skateboarders, they like if you get sponsored, it's like, oh, he's signed,
Yeah, exactly. So they put you get the fitness guys out, brand ambassador. I mean, I'm not on my brand. We had about 8 affiliates. We had international rugby players and stuff like that. But the best people for us to make money was the young kid who really connected with a young audience that was trying to pack on muscle. The guy we had who was 14 times Men's Health cover model. The 2 England rugby players internationals. We had music stars. Did naffle sales for us. The guy who did the most, this young skinny kid who was trying to pack on muscle. We found in the gym. Yeah,
because he's real. Like it's just you feel that it's real. People know like when it's just a celebrity, you're like they don't really use that product. It's like that makes sense.
Our slogan was real people, real life, real results. So we had a fireman, a guy in the army, tennis coach. So them guys did really well because they were projecting what the brand's message was and ethos was. So they're super important. Affiliates are really important, but your brand has to look fucking cool. If it doesn't look cool and attract the audience you're going after, then nothing's going to happen. If you create a brand and go, I'm just going to attract everybody that likes being healthy or wellness or well-being, you're going to get fucking nowhere because everyone's just going to be bored of it. The only way them brands do well is if they got loads of money behind them and can get into... No, sorry, 2 seconds. I want a life call, Tip. No. Sorry about that. Kids in the house who don't understand things. So if you've got a brand and you've got a stack of cash, you can get yourself into CVS or big supermarkets or places like that. You can do that with a generic brand, and over time, people will understand what it is based on you force it down people's neck.
Yeah.
But I guarantee 99% of people in any CBD group or online does not have the money to push themselves into or the friends to push themselves in that position. Plus, you wouldn't be able to afford the SKUs, and you wouldn't be able to afford the repeat buys. you know.
Exactly. And the margins are so low when you go that route. And so you have to have massive amount of money. Like, and I was going to ask you that, like, do you think a company could be a general brand and succeed these days? And it just comes down to budget. You'd have to just have like $5 million probably in marketing budget just to slam it down his throat.
Even when you've got a massive budget, what I've seen it in the supplement space in the UK, is that a brand's got themselves into the supermarkets. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, just in time wine.
Oh, cheers. Here's my water. It's like 9 in the morning here.
Yeah. So I've seen it firsthand in the UK where a brand's gone in. They're quite an average like protein brand, got into supermarkets, and then once in the supermarket go, okay, cool. Now you've got to position it and push it inside the supermarket, and then the brand's gone, okay, what do I do? And then so what they've had to do is then create an audience and target people from there. So they create it as a brand. Yeah, over the. There we go. My daughter's here. They created it over like a generic protein brand, but then quickly had to find an audience and position it because it was in the supermarket making no sales. And Tesco's are saying that, you know, if you, sorry, 2 seconds.
No worries. This is your dog.
Yeah, nice. Run the house. So yeah, Tesco's at the time was saying that if you can't push the brand not making sales, it's sell or return. So this person's like pumped £200,000 to get £200,000, which is at the time probably $300,000. Put into a brand, put it into supermarkets, and the supermarket's going, it's not selling, and we're going to give it back to you.
Oh, so, man, what a nightmare.
Yeah, I had to quickly flip. I was on a call with them. We had to quickly flip it and go, right, who's the target audience? So I had to basically come up with a decision based on how it visually looked there and then, and gone, right, okay, target this audience with it. And they got it sold in the end. But after the first 2 rounds of basically orders, then Tesco stopped the orders because, again, the owner wasn't really he just thought he'd get into Tesco's and make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's same thing with, I see a lot of people, me included, when I first got into internet marketing, I thought, oh, you could just build a website and the sales are going to start coming because I have a Facebook page that has 100,000 likes. It just doesn't work like that. You got to do the work and put everything into place. And like one thing I was thinking about is the brand Ignite. I don't know if you saw recently that Dan Bilzerian's brand Ignite is like $67 million in debt or something. It's just insane. They spent the money they spent on marketing. Like, where do you think he went wrong with that brand?
Well, again, I don't know how accurate that story is. It seems like it was there to damage the brand a little bit more than do it good. But he just likes spending money. He's got a load of cash, dude. Right? He just spends it. He doesn't give a shit about it. But he's not. He's not stupid. I've watched quite a lot of interviews with him when he's chatting like entrepreneurial like podcasts.
Yeah,
he is bright, but I don't know. I think what he's done is he's probably spent a lot on marketing. The products are probably selling, but it's partially due. He's probably good at getting investors to come on board and pump money into it. Do you know what I mean? Because I guarantee you it's not affecting any of his own money.
No, so, I'm sure it's OPM, other people's money.
Yeah. And what's that? Who was that one the other day who sold? Was it the Lord Jones? Was it sold and then disappeared?
Oh yeah, so they sold for 300 million or so, something like that. And then the CEO was supposed to stay on board with the new company, and she just took off. I guess she's like, I got my money now. Yeah,
it's either that or there's maybe like a difference of opinions, or like, you know, because once someone gets in power or something, then there's like it's my old company now, you're in charge of it, and you're different to me. But she's got her money, she's gone, right? Ultimately, what we're in business for in the CBD space or any space, you build a business and you flip it.
Yeah,
that's what you've got to do, right? You build a business and flip it. Yeah, because ultimately you can take it to a point, then you're gonna need massive investors and people that have had knowledge, and that's why people buy brands out. And this is more important, again, why you should focus on target audience.
Exactly.
If you really focus on target audience, you will get bought out for a big number.
And subscription. Hammer people over the head with membership or join the family. Don't call it a subscription because that's like, nobody wants to do a subscription, but like join our family or something like that. And if you had 10,000 people on monthly subscription, you know how valuable that would make your company, even if you had 5,000 or 1,000.
Because the investors are looking at who that target audience is and what else they can sell to them.
Exactly, they want that.
$1 Shave Club, right, was doing what, about 4 or 5 million a year, if that, and got sold for like 1.1 billion or something, or 900 million or something stupid. But he targeted the audience when no one was targeting. So there was like the cheap razors you could buy, then there was Gillette. but there's no one in between making it accessible to have cheap razors on a monthly basis. $1 shave club make a really brilliant sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So great. Marketing was brilliant as well. Fantastic marketing.
Yeah, they did a great job. Like Four Hymns is another example that they just blew up out of nowhere, and they did a great job with their marketing. So check out those brands, people, for examples of really good brands. And I always talk about Feels as being a really good brand in the CBD space, because what they did, they're selling the same thing as everybody else. They're selling tinctures, but they repackage the tinctures in really cool little bottles, and the branding is cool, and their website's beautiful, and they target women for the most part. And they have 3 choices, one product with 3 different strengths on the website, and it's really high price too, and they're getting it. They're doing really well. And so that's another brand I would recommend taking a look at their website, people, and you just got to do your research and make sure it's something
I'm not going to say what the brand is because I'm a part owner, but I'm involved in it. It's a golf brand, and the price we sell oil, 1,000 milligram CBD oil for, is ridiculous, but people buy it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have a strong brand, you can do that.
And that's why when all these like ready-made brands that I create, my first thing is when I see an opportunity and a market and an audience, I build around that. I don't think I want to build a ready-made brand. I think about, okay, through my research, I find opportunities, and then look at that opportunity and go, okay, how big is that opportunity? Are people searching for it online? Is there opportunity with the search engine Google? Where's the gap in the market, and can this brand transition to other verticals later on? And then I build brands out, and that's why I build it, because the biggest failure point is, as we discussed, is starting and launching a brand. How do you start?
And the lack of research. Like I've built a bunch of brands with you. And I see the amazing amount of research that you do before you even do anything as far as like creating a logo or anything like that. There's a ton of research that Paul puts into it. And you can check out, Paul, you can contact me or Paul. He has a bunch of brands that he's already created, like ready-made brands, or we do custom brands as well. So you can definitely reach out to me or Paul, and if you wanted to create a brand, and that way your chances of succeeding are a lot higher than if you're trying to go on like 99 Designs or Fiverr or something like that to create.
I started doing what I did was because years ago I was sort of helping people in the Amazon space, and when I was doing my supplement brand as well, I was trying to get into people's heads is that you just can't sell products, and that's why I did it effectively. Is because I started seeing the failure points. Okay, what's the failure point? Look, I'm an ex-Navy engineer, so my thing is problem solving. It always has been. Aircraft lands on, pilot tells you it's broken somewhere. Right? How do I fix it in the fastest way possible and make sure it stays fixed? Now, I'm the same when it comes to the brand world, when I have my own brand and stuff, is that people come to me and go, well, I want to launch a brand. Okay, where are the failure points I'm seeing everyone doing the Amazon space, where everyone I see doing the supplement space, wherever I do see in the sex space, right? I'm seeing the same problems over and over again. So, okay, cool. I'll do the research up front. I'll take that problem away. Right now, you've got the tools to launch a brand. Now, recently, what I've done is I've started building the sites now, because I realized the problem as well now is that people's sites are terrible, and they put the wrong plugins, and they're building it wrong, and they're writing the content wrong, and they're what they think is SEO is not SEO, and all this sort of stuff. So I just solve problems, and that's why I can live in Spain and live here in my wine garden, drinking wine, and enjoy what I'm doing, because it's great. And that's why I've done it before in this group a few times, your business success group. I said to you, post your website and I give you 3 things to change.
Yeah.
It's the same 3 things every single time, because people are building generic sites that are boring. But before that, the brand looks terrible. Yeah. And it's just because people are in a rush to try and make money. So if you
a lot of that.
Just pause.
Or another thing I noticed too is there's a lot of entrepreneurs that get into the CBD space because of that. They just think, it's hot. I know people are buying it, and I'm going to make some money. I'm going to throw up a CBD brand, and it just doesn't work like that. People see through that, and also there's the other side where people that CBD has changed their life or their family member's life, but they don't have that marketing background or business background, and they think because it changed their life, they think they can just put up a website and they're going to sell all the CBD, but you got to have a marketing plan and a sales plan, and you got to have the right people around you. And, people like Paul and myself and Aaron and other people, and Marty Marion and people like that are experts in their field. Like I always say, I don't want to be the smartest one in the room. I surround myself with people like Paul who are smarter than me in the areas that they know. And so if I don't know something, I know a guy or a woman that does know it way better than me, and they're experts at it. And that's how you create a great brand, is having a strong team around you, because you can't do it all yourself.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've known over the years of being around people and helping people and just talking to people in general, because I do a lot of help in my groups anyway, and just like, and my messenger box always get filled up, and I struggle not to respond, because I'm like, Paul, don't respond. This is like, people should be paying you for an inbox, but I can't help myself. But ultimately, what I think a lot of it is people's egos get in the way. It's the ego that gets in their way, because there's so many great people in this space that have got great ideas, but they can't execute on it, right? Or there's people that don't have great ideas but have got great drive, but just don't know how to execute on the drive they've got because they haven't got the tools to do it. And thirdly, you have got a lot of idiots, right? There's always a way, right? There's three types of people. You've got great people that, like I said, have got great ideas, don't know how to execute. People that have got loads of execution but no ideas, and then the people in the middle that are just trying to make a buck and try and scam people. But a lot of time it's ego that gets in people's ways. Like, they go, okay, I know it's not that great, and if anyone like says anything about it, they get really upset. Whereas people should be able to learn to take stuff on the chin if it's warranted, and if it's what's the word I'm thinking? If it's constructive. If it's constructive, on the chin. I don't mind someone calling me out or saying something bad, about something I've done. I have no problem, because if it makes me better, fantastic. I used to hate it. 15 years ago, I used to hate being criticized.
It's like, as you mature, you realize, and you kill that ego. It's like, it doesn't help you, like being having that proudness and ego. It doesn't help. Like, I grew up in the music studio producing music, and we always used to say, no idea is too precious. Like, you can shoot my ideas down all day long. I don't care, man. Like,
I always say there's never a stupid question. There's only a stupid answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And another thing to help people out here as well is that really important. If you've got partners in business, or if you go into this space and there's 3 or 4 of you, or just 2 of you, make sure you know your roles, because you don't. Last thing you want to be doing is sitting back because 3 of you are arguing what the brand should be about, or what the brand should talk about, or what the brand ethos should be, or the packaging. If you've got different opinions at that stage, it's going to be a nightmare later on. So go, right, okay, I'm going to be in charge of brand, I'm going to be in charge of marketing, I'm going to be in charge of sales and all the stuff. Make sure you got your roles set out, because that'll hold you back, that'll kick you in the teeth. You know what I mean? It's
100%. And put it in an operating agreement, put it in writing. Make sure you have the roles specific, and then also have an exit plan with your partners. Like, say, hey, if we get a $5 million offer, are you cool with that? Or would you take that? Because you don't want to go down the road and then you get a $5 million offer and one of the partners wants to take it and the other one doesn't, and then you're stuck.
Yeah, and all my JVs, all my partnerships, and me and my business partner, we have exact figures on what we would take if someone offered it.
Yeah, exactly.
And what we'd do. So we set that in stone right at the start.
Yeah,
that is looking forward, but ultimately that's what you starting a business for. And when you start a brand, going back to what we talked about before, is you're starting that to make money. Now, if you get sidetracked because you see something new comes along, you're not really focused on the brand you're doing right now, you're never going to get anywhere either, because you're too, that magpie mode where you're looking out for the next shiny object. You're never going to make money. So you got to go all in, and then when you go all in on understanding where you need to be, what you need to do, and understand what the actual real costs are. There's certain areas you can do. Like, if you're going to do Facebook ads, what the real cost of Facebook ads is going to be. If you're going to do SEO, understand different levels of SEO, so you understand what the costs are going to be. Because if you haven't got the finances to do certain things, what you have to do is get out there and be yourself and do the organic stuff, where you just go out there, you talk to people, you connect with people, you get people making sales, you go out there and hustle your ass off.
That's what I did when I started my brand, and that's what you did when you launched your brand. And it's time consuming doing it that way, but it works. So you just have to have the passion, you put in the time, and do it smart. And that's another thing I'm learning as I grow as an entrepreneur. I'm delegating a lot more and just automating things. So automation and delegation are huge, because otherwise you'll just burn yourself out. Like, you really have to, if you're not an automation expert, then get somebody that is on your team, because you need to have everything set up and automated, like your messenger bots, your text sequences, email drip campaigns. Everything needs to just be humming along, automated, and then just being able to focus on what you do best and delegate everything else. And there's VAs out there you can get for $4 to $5 an hour in the Philippines, and they're amazing, or Eastern Europe. And so, as an entrepreneur, if you have a low budget, you just have to get creative and find the right people to help you out. It's not easy, but you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You just got to delegate. You got, and like another important thing as well is that if you're, I put a poll today in one of my groups, and I said, what are you using for marketing? And it was like Facebook, obviously, was a leader. Twitter, 0. I was dumbfounded that no one's using Twitter.
I know nobody's using Twitter anymore. I closed $300,000 of business in 1 year just off of Twitter. I
built a 7-figure supplement brand from Twitter.
Yeah,
I didn't use Facebook because I didn't know clue what Facebook was back in 2012. You know, I just didn't use it. I was just thought it was pointless. I thought it was just a load of people like taking selfies and loving each other. You know, so never used it. But it's understand. So but key thing for people is that just posting on social media and hoping people are going to come is not what it's about. It's connecting with people. So you've got to get out there and you've got to connect with your audience where they're at.
One to one.
Yeah, you just get to become everyone's best friend. Just talk. You know, that's how we get. That's how you would do it if you didn't have social media. How would you make sales?
Exactly. You gotta hustle. You gotta hustle. Yeah. And even like I sent out, I think it was like 150 or 200 Facebook message videos in one day. I just took my phone and sent, hey, what's up, man? It's Matt. How you doing? Like just trying to connect with people and doing it in a different way. Because who does that? Who sends a video? You know, so
yeah, I get spammed all the time. I get spammed by my Facebook and my LinkedIn, and I just come back with witty comments. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Paul, I see what you're doing is awesome. Do you want to buy my CBD? I'm like, you don't know what I do you, plum? I send things like that back because I like to be. It's just my way of just like rather than ignoring it, I'm just like trying to give them a coaching lesson at the same time. It's like, why are you sending this message? Yeah, because it's like, sorry, I thought we had the same sort of interests. Well, you've basically spammed me because I had CBD in my title somewhere. Yeah.
I get so much spam on LinkedIn. It's crazy. And people know, they're not dumb. I can tell when it's automated spam. It's like, you got to do things that are not automated. I don't think that works anymore. I think
I've tested all of it.
I would try automation too with that. But like automation, well, I was talking about automation earlier. There's certain things you should automate. And then there's certain things that need to be real, I think, you know.
So a quick tip, LinkedIn: do not automate inbox messaging.
There you go.
But automate you looking at profiles.
Yeah, exactly, and following the profiles.
Because that means someone thinks you just looked at their profile and they won't know it's a robot. So that's a great way because that means if they see you've looked, people are naturally inquisitive. They're going to go and look at your profile, and then if it interests them, they might message you or they might follow you. So that's the same, Basically, the old school way of doing it on Facebook or Instagram, liking loads of posts. But if you do the automation wrong and just sort of hashtags, you can end up liking really weird pages.
Yeah, and so there's LinkedIn software that will do that for LinkedIn, and then the other thing that Paul talks about and has done really well is you go into CBD groups or other groups that are in your niche market and just talk to people, educate them, give them value. Don't try to sell them anything. And then they start to see, oh, who's this guy, Matt? He's always popping up, giving advice, and he seems really cool. And then you start to make friends. You Facebook friend them, get them on your friend list, and then they see what you do, and then maybe they reach out to you or you reach out back to them, and then finally you make a sale because you built a relationship.
Yeah, I call it sort of social hijacking. I break it down to IES: investigate, engage, and stealth sell. So basically you go like, if you know your target audience, you know who your audience are, you know where they hang out online, so you know what groups they're in. So you join that group, and when you investigate people that make a lot of comments all the time, or people that are commenting, and you just make comments on their posts, and then they go, okay, cool, this guy's now in conversation, or this girl's in conversation. Then a few times, I always say to you, keep an Excel spreadsheet of people you keep in contact the most, or you message the most, and then every time they pop up, leave a comment that's engaging. It's easier to do it on Twitter. You do it on Facebook. It's great on Twitter. And then over time, people then will ask you a question, direct questions. They see your profile. They know you own a business. They know whatever. They ask you a direct question. Then you send them the link to something. So it's a post, or you get on a one-on-one call, or whatever. And it's just natural. It takes hours. Why don't people do it? Because you got to sit there for hours a day on your computer.
Yeah, I was working 12, 13 hours a day, just hustling, man, online, or going to driving around to stores when, before, this is way before COVID days. So yeah, you got to do what it takes when you don't have the big budget. You can't sell. Like, it's great if you had $500,000, you could hire out and delegate everything and just oversee it all. But if you don't have that kind of money, then you got to roll your sleeves up and you just got to do it.
But I go back to the whole point is if you're going to go and do all that, when someone checks your profile out, your brand's got to look cool as fuck.
Yeah,
if your
exactly.
brand's not cool and it's not targeted, people are just going to go passing by, and you're wasting all that time doing that organic effort, engaging with people and trying to direct them to your website. If it's shit, I always use that word. I've got a potty mouth, but if your website's shit and your brand looks crap, all that work's wasted. So your core foundation is to have an awesome brand, awesome website, and an awesome message. If that is all clean and clear, then you go off and do all the marketing tactics you want, free or paid, and you're going to make sales because your conversion is going to be high because people know why they're coming there. They're going to be excited when they get there and it gets them pumped up. Do you know what I mean? But
exactly.
if it's just bland, nothing's going to happen. You're going to waste a lot of time. You're going to talk. You're going to be asking the same questions in groups all the time, going, "What's the next best thing I can do to get sales?" And someone goes, "Shoot your brand shit." And you go, "No, it's fine. It's fine." And you'll go do more marketing effort, spend more time online. 6 months later, you've been in the same position because your brand's crap because it's not targeted. Shit.
And I tell over half the brands I talk to nowadays when I do like, calls or Zoom calls, I tell them you have to redo everything from scratch. You got to just throw it all out and start over because I'm trying to help them. And a lot of them say thank you when I tell them that because they're like, nobody's told me that. They just take my money and like the marketing companies, they'll just take their money and promise them, oh, we'll do all this. And they don't even have a strong brand. How are you going to get them sales?
Yeah, I had a guy messaging me last night. Yeah, he must be in the US because it was the time. And he's like, "Yeah, Paul, I'd love to get a call with you. I love your no bullshit, the way you are." I'm like, "Cool. What's it about?" There's no point in getting a call unless it fits this conversation. And he's like, "Yeah, I want to start marketing my brand and this, that, and the other." And I was like, "Okay." And then I noticed he put like a link to the brand. I looked at the brand. I sent a message back and said, "Right now, I've not got a clue if it's for sport, if it's for well-being, who is it for?" I said, before you even get a conversation, you need some clarity. The guy spent some serious money on the product he's got. I'm not going to say what it is, right? But he spent some serious dough, and it's just bland. It doesn't make any sense. I can't. I'm quite good at working out where they're trying to go. This one, I've got no clue. But I said it back to him. I said, "Look, dude, I'm going to be straight up and honest and transparent because I always am. Because I don't want people to waste their time going down dark alleys or going to a marketing agency and they're going, oh yeah, the marketing agency tell me it's fine." I said, "Well, cool. Go and spend 20, 30 grand. I know people that spent 80 grand and made 10 grand back. And it's like, what went wrong? I went, you haven't got a brand."
Exactly. I know people that have spent more than that and lost everything. And so, because they didn't have the brand. And so it's all about the foundation, people. Yeah. And so here's a question for you. If you were launching a CBD or cannabis brand today, what kind of brand would you launch and who would be your target audience?
It's different now that coronavirus has come about because everyone's super health conscious. The self-care brands, self-health brands, absolutely massively. Even though you can't make claims, pets still huge.
Yeah, it's blowing up. Yeah, it's blowing up, but it's the same brands blowing up with it because no one's really coming in and getting on the tail of that because, as always, people are looking at, oh, what's new, what's coming out, what can I jump on the back of? What's short term, what's short term money making? Where they're going, okay, pets are always going to be huge. I mean, the amount of people who've got pets is massive, Yeah, we have a client that we're doing ads for right now in the dog space, and they're getting huge return on their ad spend. It's just crazy, man. But they have a really strong brand. They have the face of their brand is amazing, and so they have a foundation to work off of. And so the pet market, and then also like you said, the self-care, and I think it should be high end. Like, to me, there's no more middle ground. You either do a high-end brand or you do a really low-cost brand. Like, there's
no one buys middle ground glasses. You either buy cheap glasses or you buy expensive like Ray-Bans or Gucci and stuff. There's no these glasses like $30-$40 price. You're like, what's the point? I might as well buy an expensive pair or buy a cheap pair. It's it's a bit like trainers, right? You either buy a shitty pair of trainers or you pay like over $100 for a decent pair of trainers. The middle ground is like, oh, this is shit. They don't really know where they are. So, so for me, but going back to it, the pet care, the self-care, the high-end beauty is all massive and huge. But ultimately, it's make what sells. So get people to think about what are people consuming a lot of today? Mm-hmm. You know what people are consuming a lot of, and you can put a CBD twist on it, or your brand can come into the market and position itself as a different direction. Do you know what I mean? It's like Red Bull came into the market space when there's loads of sugar drink brands around, and there's still new energy drink brands coming to market because they come with a unique angle, right? It always works. Same as the supplement space. Muscle Farm came in like 10 years ago out of nowhere, had money and made it cool because brands at that time were boring as shit. They came in and made it cool. There's always every market. What do people consume a lot of? And
I can't believe nobody. I'm sure there is, but nobody's really broken out with a CBD collagen brand. And collagen is the number one selling supplement on Amazon. It's the number one selling supplement at Whole Foods. The number one selling supplement at Sprouts. And nobody's done it yet that I know of.
Targeting that market. Yeah, and then adding the CBD twist to it. Yeah. The great thing is you can it's just to add that CBD twist. That's where you don't launch a CBD brand. You launch a brand that can optimize or maximize CBD right now, but then can pivot because, again, if you've got a brand that's pushing collagen, then you can move into other products, that are powder-based or capsule-based that still serve the same niche, like older women. The skin and how the skin dries up as they get older. I mean, CBD is a perfect combination with aging beauty. It's perfect. It's a perfect combination. Again, no one goes beauty, just target the 20 to 35-year-olds. Whereas ultimately, pain relief and beauty is needed when they're older.
Yeah, that's like you look at the brand Boom by Cindy Joseph. They're not a CBD brand, but they did like 50 million in sales last year. They target women.
Ezra Firestone.
Ezra Firestone's company, and they target older women in their 50s with skincare and beauty products, and they crush it.
Because they've got their Facebook ads are killing it because no one's targeting that audience with a product.
Yeah, so that was just and Ezra Firestone is one of the best marketers in the world, I would say. So he
saw an opportunity, right? No one's hit this market. It's like anything. It's like, so find out what people consume and use loads of already, then find the opportunity within that, like so that's why beauty care, that's why health, dog care, even a dog brand that targets specific pedigrees. Do you know what I mean? That would be awesome.
I saw one company that just came out with that. It's this dog supplement company, and they had like the German Shepherd supplement and this and that for each breed. And I thought that's brilliant.
The easy way to research that is just go and download keywords everywhere, free tool for you guys to use, and then go and put pet or dog supplements then start putting breeds in, and you'll start to see which breeds come up the most. You go, okay, cool. Let's say it was German Shepherd was the highest one.
Yeah,
you don't down towards German Shepherds.
I love it.
So that's how you build a business.
And then you make the face of the brand.
You don't call it German Shepherd CBD, right?
Yeah.
You call it like the Mutt's Nuts. So you wouldn't call it that.
The Mutt's Nuts.
The Mutt's Nuts. No, but you know what I mean? So you come up
maybe if you have a German Shepherd, you call it Charlie's or whatever the name of your dog, and then he could be the face of the company, and just something like that. And
there's a brand in the UK called Pedigree Chum, and they're targeting pedigree dogs. Do you know what I mean?
Great.
So the name ties in with what their concept is. They class themselves as elite food and nutrition for dogs. So they put a massive price on it. It's probably no better than the other kibble you can buy, but because they put Pedigree Chum and put like a little a rosette around the logo and stuff like that, they obviously get the high ticket, and they're the sort of go-to dog food brand. So
brilliant.
It's understanding who your audience is, and especially with dog people and stuff like that. They understand. They know. If you know your dog people, they're like crazy, and they'll buy anything for their pets. No different to like self-care people. If you know the age groups of what people are using, like if you know that 25 to 30-year-old dudes are consuming a stack of protein. Now, how can you slip into that CBD space where you can still sell them protein, but then offer them like a recovery, like twist up CBD so it sounds like to them that they're going to get more gains, more sleep, more rest, more recovery equals more muscle, which means better pecs, bigger arms, women liking you more. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to understand the psyche of the person you're trying to sell to, so you can position the product to what it makes them feel. Viagra was easy. If you can't get a boner, you're going to get super long boners that don't go down for ages. So you can feel like Don Juan. Do you know what I mean? So it's easy for the sell Viagra. But even CBD, I think about different marketing. You can sell CBD on sex ads, right? On porn sites and stuff. It sounds ridiculous, but if your target audience is a certain demographic and they all hang out on porn sites, meet them where they're at.
Yeah, exactly. Pornhub, they allow CBD ads and they get tons of traffic. So and if your brand and if your brand fits that, then there you go. You got a place to market. And so Paul, all he does, like I said, is create brands. And so the best thing is, hopefully people watching, if you haven't created a brand yet and you're thinking about it, then reach out to me or Paul and I'll connect you, or Paul get you going. And because you're going to have a better chance of succeeding working with Paul, getting that brand foundation started. And then my company Symbio offers consulting as well. So we do a lot of strategic consulting with some of the biggest brands in the industry. Congratulations, by the way, to Nancy from Sarah Labs, who just sold for $20 million. Wow. So that's amazing. One of our clients and friends. So that's what we do. We help brands. We build them from the beginning, and then we scale them up, and then we help them sell. Not that Nancy did that by herself. I didn't help with that sale, but I have done it before. And so that's what we do. And Paul, is there any thoughts that you want to leave the audience with?
No, just keep it simple. Go sell what people buy already, and not buy CBD, but sell what they're already consuming. And just always think about audience, because the only way you're going to get acquired as a business, or you're going to get investment, is if you can tell people, or they can see. You don't have to tell them; they'll see this opportunity because they know you're targeting a specific audience. They know that the audience you've got buys other products because you've done that research yourself. So acquisition comes from being very focused, and you will get every now and then someone go, yeah, but if I go super niche, why don't I make less sales? That's bollocks. If you don't go niche, you make no sales because no one knows why to call you. You've got to go super niche.
I would say pick your niche and you'll get rich.
Yeah, I like that. So keep everything simple. Keep it super simple. Target on the audience first. Make sure you understand the audience completely before you build anything out. And don't try and create labels and logos and stuff yourself. Not so you can pay me money to do it, so you don't look shit. Yeah. Right? If you can find it cheap somewhere, like on Fiverr, but don't just choose something because you think it's going to get you to market first, right? Yeah. Choose it based on its. And last thing, don't ask opinion of people who are not your target audience. Don't put a logo on social media and go, "What do you think?" Because there's no story behind it. There's no information behind it. There's no aura about it that people can understand, like who you're trying to target. Ask your target audience you're going for and say, what do you think of my logo? I'm going to build a brand based around X, Y, and Z. My brand is X. It's for Y to solve Z, or whatever it may be, right? So tell people what you're creating and why you're creating it. The why is the most important thing in everything, because when someone sees your brand, they're going to go, why should I give a fuck?
Yeah. What's in it for me?
What's in it for me? Why should I give it? Yeah, exactly. I say it the horrible way. I put the F-bomb on it. But that's important. But keep it super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it complex. Don't try and confuse people with science, because most people are not CBD users. They just want to buy something that makes them feel better, feel good, and take pain away. So speak to where they're at, not trying to shoehorn information down their throat. Do you know what I mean? Why do I take that pre-workout? Because it makes me have fucking insane workouts. Okay, I'm buying it.
They don't care what's inside the ingredients.
I bench pressed 20k more than I normally could because I took this fucking pre-workout. It was mental. Someone's going, I'm buying that. I don't even know what it is. I'm buying it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So when me and Paul talk about this a lot, we see a lot of CBD brands. They'll be like, we have the best nano formulations and this and that. We have thousands of milligram formulas. They don't care. They just want to know that it's going to help them. What is the result that they're going to get from the product? And this is another one thing I was trying to say about this. Don't be scared to be out there. Like I said something today, if you want to be the brand that goes, we have the strongest product, say that, but be proper arrogant about it. Just be bullshit. Like there's a golf club brand called what are they called now? PXG. And they're like, we make the best golf clubs, period. And no one argues with them. They don't know if they do or not, but they just say it. And then, we make the best club, period. End of story. Don't care what anyone says. We are the best. So I like
that way, but your brand has to portray that character. Don't try and please everybody. Please who you're trying to focus on, and that's it. And everyone else, I always say to people, don't care about anyone else's opinion. If it's not your target audience, fuck them. Because if they're going to buy from you, all they're going to do is consume your brain and make you feel bad because you put something out there. Know who your target audience is. Only speak to them, and everyone else don't care about. And guarantee it, if you do that, people then will join the ride with you in that brand story, and they'll start buying your products. They'll start telling people about you, how cool you are, that you actually, someone gave you some shit on one of your posts, and the brand came back with some humor, or
Exactly.
or destroyed someone in a healthy way, if you know what I mean. So because you get people that are arrogant assholes all the time, and so but go back at them. I did it all the time.
Yeah, it's like I think Wendy's or KFC. I think it's Wendy's. They have somebody really good on their social media that's hilarious, and they just always clap back at people, and they get a lot of press because of that.
Yeah, exactly. It creates viral, thing. But it's also, but what it does is that people respect the brand for standing for what it believes in.
Yeah,
any brand that does that. Any brand that stands up for what it believes in and stands its corner is good, right? You don't have to please everybody,
Yeah, that's like Chick-fil-A is another example. They close on Sundays because they're Christians and they really believe in that, and people respect them because of that. Like, I'm not a Christian, I don't call myself that, but I know I respect that in them, that they believe in what they believe in, and they're willing to shut down on Sundays because of that.
Yeah, going back to Ignite, even though this in the press is saying they lost a load of money, but they've made a lot of money as well. To lose 67 million, or whatever the number is, they made a lot of money to lose 67 million. But Dan Bilzerian, the brand, stands by where the brand is. If someone starts going, "Oh, you're misogynist and you're misrepresenting women," he's like, "And I slept with 4 girls last night. What are you gonna do about it?" So I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but what he does, he stands back by his brand ethos: guns, sex, and titties. That's his thing, right? And being cool. Most dudes want to be like him. He's like the new Hugh Hefner. That's what he does, right? So he stands by what he does. It's people who stand by what they believe is fantastic. And obviously in the world right now, there's lots of riots going on. People have got their own beliefs and stuff like this. But that's just people's personal opinion. If you've got a brand that connects into people's beliefs or belief paths, and you ride that wave with them, a bit like ClickFunnels. He's a Mormon, right? So he understands how to create like cult-ish behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But he understands that concept. That's just marketing. All marketing's that, right?
Yeah,
Ty Lopez. Everyone thinks he's an idiot, but he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah, he just bought Linens and Things and Dress Barn and some other major like corporations. So he
was co-owner of Mentor Box, and I think they sold for 90 million or 200 million or something.
Like he's making moves out there.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, he's a prat." I'm like, well, "He's not a prat. He's obviously a smart dude, right? Probably he's taking selfies in his fake garage or whatever." But he sticks with who he is, and he uses the negative marketing to improve his positive marketing. So yeah, going back to my point is, stand by what you believe as a brand and stick to it, and sell people what they want. You're not selling products, you're selling beliefs, you're selling feelings, you're selling a way of life, and people connect into that.
Yep, you want to build a tribe, like a cult, a tribe, like Paul was saying.
Brands have fans like sports teams. Brands have fans.
Boom, that's it. I think that's a great way to end it. Brands have fans. And thanks, Paul, for spending time with us today. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the rest of the evening in your new place.
Yeah, I think I have to jump in the pool of my wine and just cool down a little bit. I think, yeah.
Do you got a little floaty thing you can get into with your wine?
Yeah, we've got all sorts. Yeah, we've got that much stuff in the pool now. If we don't take it out, it fills the pool up. So yeah, we've got hilos, boats, rings, all sorts going on. Yeah.
Nice, dude. So yeah, thanks again for joining us. I'm sure we'll be back again sometime soon. And if anybody wants to reach out, you can find Paul on Facebook. He's always on there, and you can find me on there too. That's probably the easiest way to reach us, right? Or you have, cool. Just hit us on Facebook Messenger. And thanks again, people, for watching, and we'll be back again soon. Have a great day, people. Peace.
Take it, guys.
Bye, everybody.